Well, hello.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, hi, what's up?
Hey, hi. How are you?
Good. What are we doing
Fancy
today?
seeing you here.
Fancy meeting you here. What the heck are we doing?
I just decided to stream since we don't have a show planned because of last night.
Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday night, isn't it? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. I'm setting up the comic book club, and
Well,
I'm,
then while I'm sitting here, my wireless mouse died. That's
of
why the weird
course,
opening. Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and draw for a little bit, say hi. I can't really see the chat, so that's going to be a trick.
Well, I
Um,
can log on to, is it live? It's live on like YouTube, yeah, live and
hey,
stuff?
yeah, like I just looked. Hey, Tim, what's up?
Hello, Tim. Ah, okay. Here we are. A different kind of night. Surprise!
Well, last night we did the FMC Halloween countdown, and of Demons and Angels was number one
Yep, yep.
by
Actually, I was
Kurt
getting
Walker.
ready to do that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
you can do it. Go ahead.
No,
I'll pretend and say it.
no, I'm sorry. I was just finishing up the comic creator stuff and was moving on to the email. So, to the creators. But yeah. Well, and then I got
Well,
the stream.
I've kind of hit a stumbling block about
Okay.
tomorrow.
Why? I
Well,
haven't
tomorrow
finished this
we're
stuff.
going to be entertaining a club of third and fourth graders, and I'm
Yep.
trying to think how I want to present comic books to them.
Hmm.
And I was thinking about it, and it really is. It's very deep. Comics don't come from like childhood joy, at least not initially. Comics were the photographs of history,
Okay.
uh, in the sense that art was the photograph of history.
Right.
And comics, today we think of like artwork with words and, word balloons and stuff, but it used to be artwork with articles about what the king decreed or, you
Right.
know, the the catch of the lobsters down at the local, you
Hmm.
know, fishery or whatever, and
Right.
the artists used to actually have to draw the world,
Hmm.
and then photographs came in,
Right.
and artists got pushed out of the news media, and
Hmm.
actually the artists had to start drawing comics, and a lot of them were political satires, religious satires, but eventually they turned into comic strips,
Right.
and those eventually became comic books.
Hmm.
And those strips that first supported those books, the collections of them, eventually were replaced by original content made just for the purpose of publishing in those books.
Hmm.
And that eventually comes up into, the golden age and the silver age.
Well, I think
And
that
then we
you,
get into modern comics
yeah,
and
you,
uh,
I would keep it very, very basic, very, very simple.
yes, you would. You would.
Well, because they're not there for history. They want to learn how to draw. They don't want to, you know what I
They
mean?
want to hang with Mr. T.
You basically, that's
And
fine.
I think I can teach them a little something and make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's my main goal.
Right.
Hello, Eric. Good evening.
Hello, hello.
I just happened to glance up at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so if you guys are out there and you're listening, if you want to join, that's cool. But what do you think? What would you tell a third or fourth grader about comic books and their where they came from? Because ultimately, I'm putting together a little slide presentation to go along with the little happy-go-lucky speech to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel like it has to end with the fact that comics, while we think of them as being pictures with words,
Right.
the first comics were just pictures, and they were actually drawn on cave walls. Sincerely, the way I'm looking at it, that's the first time artists were documenting what they saw around them, whether or not it was, hunting the buffalo or some sort of, ritual that the shaman did or whatever they were documenting. That there is first comics in
Mm-hmm.
my mind.
Mm-hmm. Um,
And to
Well,
me, I just think it's powerful. Like, I want them to know that by learning how to make comics, by doing comics, they're becoming creators, and they're not just doing, little fun things. They're also participating in something that's been part of humanity since as long as we could pick up charcoal from the fire and draw on the wall.
mhm.
I mean, this is
Well, I
nothing.
mean, if I do like a quick search on just like a brief history of comic books, there's like just very basic information that you can sort of go with. Um, I
Honey.
guess. Yeah.
But if I want to be Frosted Flakes, I could just go buy a book and
This
read.
is a fun club for kids. They're not taking a comic book
Well,
history
that's true, but
class.
they're also expecting some of my magic,
Okay.
some of that special stuff that makes Mr. T cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those who don't know, my uh, they're not my students, but the kids that I work with refer to me as Mr. T because my last name, as you know, is Tamulevich. And for elementary school kids, that's often a hurdle. So I don't pressure it. I'm like, okay, Mr. T works for me. It's a joke among everybody because, of course, don't have a mohawk, and but the kids don't know most of them. Some of them, the ones who think they do know who Mr. T is, usually refer to BA from the A-Team movie, and they're
Mm-hmm.
confused because their parents have told them something about Mr. T, but not enough. Ah, it's so funny.
You are so funny.
Not
Yeah.
me. But the fact is, though, I don't want to just do what everybody else has done with kids. Like if they were doing a great job, God forgive me. But if we had found the magic elixir, there'd be a lot more kids in the comics than there are.
Right.
So I think as a whole community, we're still trying to find out how to reach them.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, one of the coolest things we can do is say, hey, look, this is actually something that's been going on for millennials. Like you probably had someone in your family in the past that was drawing that could have been a cartoonist, but because of life, you don't always get a chance to. But we're very fortunate in that we are now living in a time where it's very easy to make your own comics.
Right.
I mean, I'm only 54 years old, but I remember having to tear out the pages from a novel that my mom bought, so I had something to draw on. You know how they have the blank pages in the books?
Mm-hmm.
I would tear those out so I would have blank sheets of paper to draw.
Speaking of blank sheets of paper,
Yes.
I can get a 24 pack of notebooks. They're 8.5 by 5, which is a nice size for kids. 30 sheets, 60 pages, 30 sheets. So that's sure, back and front for $21. I think that's pretty good. That's less than
For how many of them?
for 24 of them. I can also get like
How much can I get a ream of paper for?
I have a ream of paper. I just wanted to make this a little special. The kid
A
could
ream
have
of
it.
paper is perfect.
I have the ream of paper. I
Then
know.
we don't need any more paper.
Okay. All right. You're not fun.
It's not about being fun. In this case,
Yes, it
I
is.
want to show them you don't need a fancy sketchbook. We're not talking
I
about.
know. I know.
All right, all right. Well, trust me.
Maybe I can get it after. Like I can do it for like a gift.
No, 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 no. Trust me on this, babe.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. I am.
The 8.5, 11 sheet of paper is perfect. You fold it in half, you get 4 sheets, and they
Okay.
make like ashtrays or
Okay.
ash.
Ash cans.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Of course, I don't think we
So
should call them ash cans. We
you.
should probably call it like candy corns or something.
Oh my God. So like last night we did the FMC Halloween special. It was, I thought, really good books. I mean, there's a lot of great comic books. You guys got to check out Fun My Comic and look at what these creators are offering. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's only 9 o'clock. I got a few more things I can do, and then all of a sudden I get a StreamYard link via Facebook via
Well, I
phone.
only did that because you'd be offended if I didn't.
Well, I will. Yeah, I'm glad you did. I mean, I certainly don't mind hopping on. Um, but back to the Comic Creator Club that we're starting tomorrow. They have like a week one agenda, and so you didn't look at all of that I showed you, right?
I will. I will. I'm still going to.
Okay. Well, it's been
By the
shared.
way, I want to let Tim know I agree. I want them to tell their stories.
Hmm.
Um, and I was actually thinking about how cool this could be, but we have to keep in mind they're third and fourth graders. So like I'm
They
looking for
need
something up
direction.
there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for like a social mind numbing story from one of them, but in truth, I've done this before. And the most striking thing I ever saw was a little girl drew a comic about how this little girl in the comic was constantly picked on. And, you know, yes, you guessed it. It was all about her. And it was kind of cool because it gave me a chance as, the adult of the club
Right.
kind of say, hey, it's good that you're getting this out. It's good that you're reflecting on it. And it's healthy to put this into your book. This is like the stuff that makes people want to read it. And it really was compelling. She was a fourth grader,
Mhm.
and yeah, I was really looking forward to each page every week. I should finish them up. I'd be like, wow. Because the one thing that was awesome was she always had a positive spin at the end. No matter
Right.
how bad the girl was treated,
Right.
she always found a way to make it okay. And I always thought, I hope that's how she's really looking at it.
Right.
But like I had all sorts of stuff, and I'm going to tell them they can do things like I had kids that were doing Xerox or not Xerox, I'm sorry, black and white prints of pictures off the internet, and then they were cutting and pasting those prints into comic book panels and telling stories. One girl made a story about a cruise ship that she went on. So like I'm going to encourage them to do whatever their little creative minds want to do,
Yeah.
but we have to also respect the boundaries, which is going to be a good opportunity to teach them about like the natural roads of censorship. Like we are in schools, they have a zero tolerance, for instance, for guns.
Hmm.
So inevitably, you always get a couple of boys going GI Joe, and
And
you have to explain to them, well, we have to tell the story a little differently. You know, you have to work around the perimeters of the publisher, and the publisher in this case is the school, and they have these rules. So I'm looking forward to all those little things, just like I always have, because it does make for more education than people realize.
and then you have me.
Yes, we have you.
So in our week one sort of milestone, what we're trying to achieve, I had suggested that we talk about, they're going to create their own story, but do they understand what a character is? What is the character of your story? What is a plot? What setting do you want to put your character in? And how do you draw some basic forms? Like that was week one to me. So you're taking this into a whole new direction. So I'm going to just sit back and let you
No,
do
we
it.
can still fit all that in.
Uh,
We're going to have to fit some of that in because next week we want them to come to the club with some ideas, right?
well, yeah, next week we're going to talk about panels and dialogue and speech bubbles, narrator text, you know, review the setting and the background and the color and all of that stuff on how to draw them. Because I'm going under the impression that these kids do not know how to create a comic book and they have no idea. So that is what I'm doing on the
Well, a lot of them won't have an idea. A lot of them are coming just to tell us how they create comics. And
right.
they're the most interesting ones because they will, well, I read this and they will tell you what they think, and it's very cool because in one sense you want them to do that, but you also get to do something like when I was growing up, there weren't very many artists around me. So I didn't have a lot of people who could correct bad habits or,
Right.
misconceptions or anyway. I hope that we can just get some, hearts ignited for comics. And
Right.
I'm very excited because we've exceeded our we set a club limit of 20 members, and we actually have how many? 22.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a little bit.
We
We
went a little over,
Yeah.
but it's kind of cool because that way, if any quit or or whatever, we have backups.
Mm-hmm.
kind of like alternate jurors.
Right. So yeah. I mean, like if you need to, I was gonna come. I was just getting ready to come upstairs actually, but here we are to show you um, what I'm doing, or kind of like the format that I was looking or envisioning, the format that I submitted to the school committee and to the principal of the school. And so that's why I was like, oh, okay, well, we can do that too. It's fine. I don't know how we have to really, like, I've never done the club at a school before, so I don't really know what
Oh, you're gonna love it. It's everything we plan is going to be challenged because every week is a challenge, but we can try everything.
It's 22 kids, though. It shouldn't be too much of a challenge.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Just saying. I'm just saying. Well, maybe.
22 kids who have gone all day through school and will undoubtedly be very excited.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
Uh-huh. I'm
I've
sure
done it.
you've done it. Yeah, I know. I know you have done it. It's wonderful that you've done it. And so
Well,
I'm
no,
kind
what I'm saying is it's no matter what we plan, it's going to get weird. The only good thing is that you are more intense about structure,
yep.
so it'll work
Yep.
to our favor.
So that's why I had this week one stuff and whatever. So I still think that we need to introduce, you know, when you're talking about the comic history, the comic book history, and then we talk about what do we need to achieve today? You know what I mean? What are we achieving today? So
So
that's
what? Let's just review that. You want me to go over basic drawings?
well, I had said in my week one, I said an overview of the history of comic books and comic strips. Introduce a list of writing prompts and brainstorming activities to get their little brains going. Like, what do you want to write about? Do you want to write? And there's like a lot of fun, like writing prompts and brainstorming activities that we can do to get them into. Again, not everybody does drawing as a story. A lot of kids may write the story first and then illustrate it. So I'm very neurotypical in my thought process. So that's why
Well,
it's
we
written
should
like
encourage
this.
them to do that. That is the actual proper way. I mean, I'm not going to tell them any different,
You know, I
but I'm
wanted
also not going to squelch any ideas that they may have.
well, and I thought like we could, discuss what a setting, characters, and a plot is, and bring it up like so after you do the history of your comic book. After you do the history of comic books or comic strips or brief history, then we can talk about all right. So it doesn't have to be in the order it's written, I guess. And then we have a question and answer period, and we hand out their folders. They're going to put their names on their folders and whatnot. And so, yeah, that's going to take about an hour. We can always do like a couple of fun little games that I have up my sleeve if you feel that that is appropriate. I also have, which I don't think you really want, it's a beginner's comic strip fun book that I bought for my daughters who are now in their 30s when they were like 8 and 9. I still have it.
You know what? Bring it, because I'm going to bring my little library of how-to books.
Okay.
And like I have the lettering, I have the digital art, I have the how to draw Marvel comics,
I will put my
I bring them all, and then I encourage them if they get, if they want to look at them while they're at the club, feel free.
Right.
Hello, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Yes, actually, tomorrow Diana and I, are doing our first ever comic book club together.
Mm-hmm.
I've done 2 of these solo, and I am very much looking forward to Diana's leadership in this endeavor. She will help keep all the kids in line, including me.
Like I'm the one that's making the list of the students that we have. I already have a comic creator, attendance sheet because I want to know who's coming. And I was just reviewing the week one kind of thought process, waiting for you to wow me with your slideshow of the history of comic and comic strips. And then I got a link. I thought it was actually you were going to show me a video. And then I'm like, oh, we're live. Well, how about that?
Well, I know we talked about not streaming, but we didn't decide it. And when I looked over at the clock and it was like, I don't know, 10 to 9,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, no pre-show. Everybody hates the pre-show, so I'll go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no pre-show, no nothing. I didn't even literally did not even um, advertise it because I had no idea we were like doing this at the moment. But
I
it's
don't
all
think
good.
anybody
It's
did.
good. No, it's good. It's fine. It's we're here. And let's see, what was I going to say to you? So as we're chatting, I did say to you that I wanted to email all of the people that were part of last night's countdown.
Yes, you
And
did.
I want um, to do that. But like, for instance, I went to the the Mythicals #2, and they don't have email addresses on my comic page. They have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a Facebook. And if I hit the contact creator tab, I can in fact email him directly. Do you think that's cheesy doing it through Fund My Comic?
I don't know.
Okay.
Message them
How?
like on Facebook or Twitter.
Okay. I probably could do that.
That's
But
probably how most people contact them, is my guess.
okay. All right. Well, I guess that's a good idea. I'll try that. Let me see if
Yeah, because the Fund My Comic, I think they might think it's an official.
yeah, and I don't really want to like that would be not that wouldn't be good. You know what I mean? So
Well, we're not actually official, which is kind of neat.
yeah. That's
I think we could get official status if we asked for it,
mm-hmm.
but I like not being official because that way everybody knows.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. We don't really
well, nobody's able to influence the results.
So I just wanted to mention that Terry's Halloween was ruined by snow. We got snow on Halloween. We got some flurries today, but nothing too serious. And then, hello, Lorenzo. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, sir.
Here. And Diana does Diana does know that creating comics require. Yes, Mr. Funny Man. Of course, I know that comics requires writing. That is why I was telling Christopher that we need to have a kind of just talk a little bit about or ask questions. Like they may know what a character is. They may understand what is a setting. So you're going to write a comic book. What setting are you putting your character in? What's your plot?
No, we'll need all that. We'll need all that.
So I think that is something that we can do now. I think the media center has a dry erase board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it may currently be being used, but we'll find a way around that.
Yeah. So my thought is, and so my thought is, we could talk briefly about that. Okay. Then we need to get them drawing, give them their paper and their pencils and stuff. And week 2 is we're going to talk about panels and dialogue, speech bubbles, and all that stuff.
Well, they're going to be way ahead of us by week 2.
You think so?
Oh yeah, because what'll happen is a few of them at least will get on fire, and they'll come in and they'll already have their own pages already drawn out.
Well,
they'll have ideas ready to go.
My thought was we'd keep them here.
Well, yeah, that's nice, but that's not going to stop them from drawing on their own.
Well, that's true, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But I also think for tomorrow, we need to narrow down, do they want to do a whole group comic where we do like one comic book with different stories? Do we want to keep it to a character or two and have everybody write their own version of that character? Remember we were talking a little bit about that?
Yeah, I know. I'm betting they're going to want to do all different stuff.
Yeah.
That's what the other groups have always wanted to do, but I wouldn't mind seeing them work on the same concept.
Yeah, I mean, we may, or do we want to see if they want to, divide up into groups? Like I know one student that's coming. He's one of my OT kids. He's a phenomenal artist. Like he blows me away, and like every week I have him, and he's like Miss Diana, can I draw this guy? Can I draw Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, go ahead. He like looks just like Sonic the Hedgehog, like beautiful. So
So
I'm very
let me
excited.
just jump in a second.
Yes.
Tim, that's a great idea, the StreamYard with a
Oh
creator.
yeah, but
But we've got to make sure that we can clear that with the school.
yeah,
It's
yeah. That's
probably
like
not a
another
problem.
whole thing. I don't know if we'd be able to do that
Of
because
course we would. I'm a
um,
tech. I can make that happen. But I
no,
just don't know. We have to check with school and make sure that I don't know what liabilities that opens up. Like we might become very responsible. Obviously, like there are certain creators who you wouldn't know how to necessarily censor themselves in front of a younger crowd,
well, I would only ask creators that yeah,
right? That we trust, right?
right.
But I'm saying they would say, "Well, how do you know?" You know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's what Tim was
Yeah,
referring, like not a StreamYard. And it wouldn't be live on YouTube. It would just be a StreamYard thing where the
right.
creators like Tim, Terry, Rick, people that we know, maybe we get Luke Stone. I don't know. That's something that maybe we could work into later. It's a 6-week club, so maybe that could be like a finale on week 6, and we could do a special like StreamYard thing. We can talk to the powers that be and see if that's something that can happen. But for tomorrow, I really do think that we should be a very basic history of comics. I think we some brainstorming activities I thought would be fun. Um,
Great. Yeah, we'll just
at
do
the
it that
end of
way.
it, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? At the end of it, like,
Yeah.
all right, we don't have to. I'm just saying, just to.
Well, you teach us how to make comics. That'll be fun.
No, I don't know. I don't know how to. I mean, I know how to do a story, but comics is drawing, and I don't draw, so you know how that is. I'm gonna
That's
let
cool.
you just go with it anyhow. So now that we have just talked for 20 minutes about a comic book club, what are you drawing right now?
I'm working on Marinite.
Okay. Who's this person? Where is he coming into? Is it
This is going to be a hardcore baddie for Cyclopian here in 4 or 5 issues.
yeah,
But I have to start developing his character, the character sheets.
right?
So I'm working on ideas. The only thing I know for sure is his head,
Okay.
and that's pretty close to. It's a rough, but that's pretty much what his head is going to be like.
That's cool. That looks
Uh,
good.
yeah, well,
Wow.
we'll see how it comes out. I'm excited.
I'm glad.
I'm finding most of Cyclopian's. What do you want to call it? His what do they call that? Oh, villains row. Like I don't know, his group of villains, the ones that I'm creating for him. They
Yeah.
also have some sort of body horror mutation.
Okay.
Queen Sting, she had her eye taken out by a bee. He's fought a giant, squid. Master Mutator mutates creatures. Um, yeah, and so of course this next baddie has a bunch of hands coming out of his head.
Right.
Bless you. And
Sorry.
that's all tied to his ability to cast literally dozens of spells at once using hand magic.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of a counter to Forevertron, and he gets involved in the Cyclopean story through that.
Mm.
Those who have followed the book know who Forevertron is.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Rogue
Yes.
Gallery, that's it. Tim got it.
Yes.
Yeah, see, Mighty Geek, that's funny because that's how I started talking about it. I was like, so really to me, we teach that comics, or will be teaching that comics are pictures with words, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking about how if we go back in history, wow, if we go back in history, literally comics were once the photographers of history. They were once they were the ones scribing what people saw for others to see, and it goes all the way back literally to cave drawings where you see illustrations of hunts and rituals and ideas that they had about society. And they were all sketched there in stick figures because at that time that was rudimentary art. That's probably as far as anybody could really take it. It's the only stuff that survived from those time periods.
Mm-hmm.
But as we go up, the artist became like the guy who would draw the picture of the king for the newspaper when they write, decrees about the king. And uh, as we got into even, the early 20th century before photography was really that advanced, I mean, they had some, but still a lot of stuff, especially ads were drawn. And even into like the 60s and 70s, a lot of art was still being used in advertising. But computers have really drowned it out most of that. So now artists are literally like in fine arts. They're in commercial arts using digital tools, or the last place for them to really shine, I think, is comics. That's where we can be creative and crazy things. And then you get into the whole idea that comics are great because you can do anything. There's no film budget. There's no like restrictions of the set or the graphic effects that are available because you can literally draw whatever you want. Yeah, this is actually Terry's right. This is how you get to understand that there's more to comics than superheroes.
Exactly.
Even though my heart is always going to be into superhero comics, as an artist and a creator, that's what I was saying earlier. I feel like a bond with something that's existed ever since we were scratching in the sand. I mean, like it is truly an honor to be able to scratch something onto a surface and make it resemble something well enough that someone else can recognize it, That's like a gift from God that you can hone. You can even teach yourself how to draw, but the gift itself is just, it's a blessing.
Well, and I think too, I was floored by how many students we had that signed up.
Can I be honest? I was floored at how slow it started. And then, because I actually thought we would have 20 like first day, but just the way things worked and the way we received them, we might have had 20 on the first day and just didn't receive them.
Right.
And like those kids really, they didn't let me down. They filled up the slots, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Now we're really going to get to have some fun. Comic book clubs are just a blast because we'll get to see so many different ideas just pop out of their heads. Did I lose you? I think I lost you, Diane.
No, you didn't.
There you are.
I'm here. I'm here. So I'm just excited about tomorrow night, and I'm excited that we continue to move forward with Great Cyclopian 6. We're up to we've got 9 days and counting, right? I think it's 9 days now. And we have, I think, 15.
You mean for the campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 13 backers.
We're a little shy of the 50 for the t-shirt, but that's okay.
Yeah, but we're at $865, 9 days left. Haven't really promoted like I feel I should, but I'm very happy with what we've got thus far. I will be doing some more streams. I know I say that every campaign, but with the comic book club, probably yes, Tim, absolutely. Welcome. How are you?
I am fine.
But yeah, so what were we saying, Diana?
What are you laughing about? Oh, it's what I said.
We were literally just talking about how I am so sorry. I'm over here gagging, you guys. I have like a little cold coming on.
It's going around over here too.
It's just the sniffles. Yeah, it's nothing major. I'm just like, oh my God. No, we were talking about how we're probably not going to make the 50 backers for the free t-shirt. But we've done very well with the campaign.
Are you going to make goal?
Yeah.
Oh, we already have. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, I keep setting it at $100 because I want to make sure that like we deliver, like whoever orders gets one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like people are just like going way over that. And I'm like,
That's awesome.
it's a good problem to have, but I didn't even have the stretch goals up when they started, so I
Right.
retroactively inserted a $500 stretch goal, just because I want that to be like the common thing for us. I'll put $100
You know,
goal.
that seems to be working for us little creators. Is that aim low and then all of a sudden they'll go high.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you almost have to, because I don't want anybody to be looking at it going, well, I could help them make their goal. I just want it to be made, and then if you want to buy the book, it's there on its own merits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because really, the pain. It sucks when you're sitting there going, gosh, all I need to do is make 500, and I haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
But if I've set the goal at 100, and I'm using the the on demand model, it all works out pretty well.
All right.
We could make more money if we printed a lot more, but yeah, until we do. Although we were talking with someone about doing the hardcover, uh, which we'll announce when we get closer. But we've been approached about putting the series together in a hard book novel, not an anthology, but like an omnibus.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna eventually. I want to do that too. Is do a trade paperback, but I want to get Melvin 4 worked on. So
Yeah, I'm like, I really want to do. I wanted to do all 12 issues, but this guy was talking maybe do split those 12 issues up into different books. But
Yeah.
ultimately, no matter what happens, one day I would like to have a 12 issue huge fat book that like I can export to Japan and I can send to
are
Europe.
you
I think the only
hoping
way
to be big in Japan?
well, no, I know I will be.
Tom Watts reference.
No,
You never
if
heard
I
that song? Because I'm big in Japan.
no, I knew. Well, I think I remember it. I knew something about it, but like I think Cyclopian would be a huge hit in Japan. I just think it resonates with people in a different way when it resonates,
Mm-hmm.
and Japan has always loved quirky things.
Yeah. You know what you should do? You should try to see if you can market it over there to there has to be like Twitter users that are Japanese.
Oh, there absolutely are.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Why don't you try to
I have to find. Go ahead.
why didn't you do like a campaign that's only available to people in the Asian part of the world?
I don't know if I could, but that would be an interesting approach. I
Right?
actually, we know a guy who is here in the States with his wife and child, and she is full on blown Japanese, like she's an immigrant. So
Oh,
I
yeah?
really, I think I'm going to give him a holler and see what she might be able to actually recommend, because actual citizen probably has a better idea than I do.
You ever thought about I don't know, taking a trip to Japan and seeing if you can do some Comic Cons over there?
Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome.
That would be so
No.
epic.
We haven't.
We haven't thought of it, but wouldn't that be awesome, Diana?
Yeah. I think it might be.
You could actually get me to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
There is
I
a Disney World Japan. I would go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
a
because
pretty
it's Japan.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only reason you go is because it's in Japan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I wouldn't go to that one.
I'm just saying that I would be so jealous if you went.
Well, you know what? I know, like, I think Global Frequency actually goes. And there's been a couple of other comic book guys that have done it too. And I guess it's awesome. I mean, why would you go multiple times unless it was?
I don't know.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know.
I think you know, Diana. You just
Listen, you guys talk like you're all talking like, yeah, let's do this. I'm still like going. We have this comic creator club tomorrow with 22 kids, and I don't feel settled yet. So I'm not.
No, you
thinking
won't.
about
You
that.
won't. You won't be settled until like week 4.
Chris,
Yes.
not how I roll. No, I have to be settled tomorrow.
First,
No,
overhead.
No, you guys don't understand. Like, okay, so Mr. Sunshine over there is going to get up there and he's going to entertain the kids. I'm still working on all of the sign up sheets and making sure the kids get on the right bus and making sure the parents do all. I'm doing all that work.
All the
So
hard
it's
work.
not like I'm sitting here not doing anything, gathering all the supplies that we need. Then I'm looking at the sort of the agenda that I put together and he agreed. And now I'm listening to him do all this.
Are we
stuff.
having ice
Well,
cream
Tim?
tomorrow?
Are we what?
Well, Tim, now we know where the sword of protection disappeared to.
Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise.
I asked if we were having ice cream tomorrow.
No, I might bring gum, but I'm not doing
What
it.
about snack time?
No, they're not getting no. Tell
About
them
snack time?
No. What do you mean snack time? Nobody told me snack time. You never mentioned that.
Honey, snack time's always at 3:15.
Right
You're kidding me, right? You're totally kidding me.
I always figured we could have like marshmallow pies or something.
All right, I'm leaving. I've got to go buy snacks now.
No, I'm
You
kidding.
did not say
Totally.
that,
He's joking.
Yeah, I'm totally kidding.
you
He's
know?
joking.
Yeah, double dogs would be good. Cupcakes. It doesn't have to be marshmallow pies.
Mhm. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. We wouldn't be able to do that anyways.
He wants a statue of Cyclopian sculpted out of cheesecake.
Oh,
You guys are so goofy.
that's so cheesy.
You guys are so funny.
I've never actually tasted cheesecake.
What?
What?
Yeah, I always figured it was too weird. Like, who the hell mixes cake and cheese?
Okay, I'm gonna need you to fly over to Idaho so I can slap you, and then you can go all the way back to wherever you came from.
Well, what kind of cheese do they
No.
make it with? I mean, come on.
Cream
I
cheese.
would need him to fly all the way to Chicago.
We'll do. It'll be like a tennis match. You slap him over here, I'll slap him back over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Unfortunately,
you guys are
unfortunately, if he says that here, they're gonna tie him to a chair and shove cheesecake down his throat.
Right?
well, I might willingly try it if it was threatened upon me.
So I take it Diana's doing all the. You're doing all. Chris is doing all the fun work.
Yeah.
And Diana's
Diana-
doing all the heavy lifting. We know.
Of
Yeah.
course. That's kind of the way it rolls. I get no credit, no nothing. It's all right.
What are you talking about? I always give you credit.
Well, no, you do, but not really.
She's like the manager from the movie This Is Spinal Tap. There's no fun, there's no
Oh
fun for her.
God. Oh God.
There
No
is
one
no
should
fun.
be. No one should be compared like that.
Well,
She needs to carry around a cricket bat.
It's all right. It's okay. I can deal with it. I'm strong. I'm a strong, resilient person.
Oh my gosh, did you hear that?
What?
Listen, can you hear it?
What?
It's the world's smallest violin.
Actually,
You're such a butthole. I cleaned my language up. You know what? I know where to find you in about 10 minutes. You better
You
just
actually hushed up and listened. You were like,
I
what?
thought it
You're
was
what?
because I thought you were going to say, "Do you hear that typing? Do you hear that crunching?" I'm like, I am literally not doing anything. He calls me out every stinking time. Listen, I have to go play with kitties in a few minutes and then go to bed. So
Yeah, I do too, actually. So we've got 3 new kitties. And
baby kittens.
they're really baby kittens. I'm a little worried because the dogs are eventually going to catch
Hello,
up to them.
Herman. They're 8 weeks old tomorrow. They're the cutest little things.
Oh my goodness.
Chewy doesn't know what to do with it. I named the 3 kittens. So I brought them home and they came out of their little crate. The first there was a little boy that came out, you guys. He was so stinking cute. He poked his little head out, looked around, hopped around. I'm like, look at you, you brave boy. You're such a brave heart. And I went, oh, that's his name. It's Braveheart. So his name is Braveheart. We'll call him Brave for short. And then the other little boy, Chris kind of came down and pulled the other 2 out. He's like, oh, just get him out. I'm like, oh my God, Chris, you're so rough. The other little guy, he has a little crooked tail. Like the tip of his tail has a hook. Literally like a hook. So Chris goes, we got to call him Hook. And I'm like, yeah, like Captain Hook. Look at how snarly he is because he would hiss at anybody that came near him. And then the other little kitty, she's all black. It's a little girl.
Yeah.
Beautiful black cat. And she finally came out and we were playing, and some of the toys we had bells, and she absolutely loved bells. So I named her Belle.
Aw.
So we have Braveheart, Belle, and Captain Hook are their latest furry additions. And my dog, Chewy, does not quite know what to do with them. We haven't gotten them
Hell
together.
are these?
Well, hello. So Herman just popped in. He's on a stream right now, but he's popped in for a bit to say hi. Well, hello. Thank you for stopping in.
Hello, sir.
Hey,
You,
Herman.
you walked into Chris pretending, talking about the smallest violin because I was complaining because I do all the work again for the comic creator club that we're doing.
Oh, by the way, Chris and Diane, did you get anything great in your email recently?
I don't
Yes,
know.
but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
I actually-
yes. We did, actually.
Did you want to hear the funny story about Rex? Because
No, what happened?
So Rex got a digital copy and he didn't know that he had to scroll down to read it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you only see the cover. I go, did you try scrolling down?
Oh my gosh.
So on a live stream, we're teaching them how to scroll down so he can read the rest of the book.
That's great,
Oh,
man.
that's so funny. That's so funny.
It
He
is
didn't
a funny
know?
story. Yeah, it's like just
He
scroll down,
didn't
dude.
know? Oh my gosh. What a goofball.
Yeah.
Well, you
No,
know,
he's used to getting his comics in print format.
yeah.
It's still goofy. I mean, if you bought a PDF.
That, or maybe he just assumes if he click, it's like one of those things where you click and it then goes to the next page.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought that, but
Maybe.
So. Okay, let's-
So goofy. Yeah.
so the physical copies for at least for Melvin Zero goes to the press next week on Friday.
Cool. That's awesome. Yes, I will definitely read this.
Hmm.
Get in.
But as I was saying before, all it
Yes.
takes is $1.25 to create a 24-page comic book.
Yes, I know. I actually have all the materials. I have a ream of paper and I have 22 pencils and some erasers and sharpeners. And they were going to have a great time. I just wanted to make sure that, it's great to draw little pictures and whatnot.
Are
but-
you going to teach him the different panels?
Yes, Christopher is going to do all that.
I believe, if I recall from How to Draw the Marvel Way, it's medium shot, close up, extreme close up, silhouette, and
Long shot.
Panoramic shot, bird's eye view, and worm's eye view.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Chris, did you get all that?
Honey, I've got the book right here.
Yeah, he already knows
That's
that.
going to be at the club.
I know. I just
mean,
want to make sure you heard what this.
It's funny because I don't refer to it ever anymore, but yet I felt weird when I didn't have a copy of it around,
Hmm.
It's like one of those things from early adulthood that
Most
find that
most artists are like that.
I find that I don't use worm's eye view or bird's eye view as much, or panoramic shot.
I
Issue
use a
7.
panoramic shot as an opening shot. That's about it.
Yeah, you got to have the opening. But I've been getting into weird angles in issue 7 of Cyclopian,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and I'm loving it. I don't know. It's fun to like just go crazy, let all your characters' fingers and arms go flailing and fighting and background perspective. And,
My favorite panel of all time is the floating panel, where you can just draw a full page screen and just put this one tiny panel floating somewhere in the corner.
Right.
Something I noticed that there's something I noticed that the image founders do a lot.
What's that?
The floating
That kind
panel.
of layout. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. You do one big page with a lot of detail, and then you ratchet in one panel to just throw everything like into not
Into
disarray,
motion.
but like it adds
It
like an
just throws it
order.
into motion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the opening for Zero, I used like a medium shot of Melvin's spaceship landing.
I don't know. It's funny you guys talking about because I always end up screwing up and not drawing my initial reference point, like the panoramic. So then I always have to go back and draw like the first like 4 panels because I'm like this was so cool. I forgot to put a panoramic here. And like so like my books are weird. Like they flex on me while I'm doing them.
I mean, if I did like a silhouette shot, it'd have to be for like a really sinister kind of evil character. Not like maybe you don't see his face or something.
Well, what's the name of the famous artist? He's got like a sheet of all the perfect examples. I want to say Bill Everett, but that's not the name. Eisner.
Eisner does it, but there's someone else. I can't think of his name.
It's like a page full of every perfect shot in comics.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
Yeah, Joe Kubert used to do it all the time, and he teach that in his school.
Yep. Oh yeah. If you go, let's see. I googled it. There's a whole bunch of examples of, but there's one in particular I have somewhere, and they literally show like, you know, the silhouette, the close up, the far shot, all these different. Like there's like 9 or 12 of them. I forget which way, but they did it in a very basic layout, so it's very standard like set of panels, but each one like is so deep. Just the idea of what he was drawing there. Let's see. I want to see if I can find it, but there's so many. I don't have the right name. That's a problem too. And I can't remember the name, so it's going to elude me, but it's out there. I'll remember and I'll post it on Twitter when I do, but it's really good. So Google it. I think Diana left us, by the way. I can hear her.
You're doomed, Chris. Doomed.
Nothing new.
You fool.
So whose turn is it to say words at his funeral this time?
Oh, I guess I'll go.
You guys are
Chris.
going to have a funeral?
Yeah, because Diana's going to kill you. That's why. That's why you're going to have a funeral.
I think we'll all remember when he used to crack jokes.
Yeah.
He used to crack jokes and just laugh, and then one day Diana just got up and killed him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right out of his body. It was the damnedest thing.
You never know.
Yeah, we never knew that there was a predator among us.
It was like
And
something
her
out
name
of
was
Mortal
Diana.
Kombat.
She ripped his spine from his body with his head attached.
Yep. She went Sub-Zero on.
Gruesome. We didn't realize how strong she was until that day.
When we first got married, it was hilarious because she thought she was going to be able to beat me up. And yeah, no, I just like held her wrist, but she was quite violent back in the day. No, she wasn't, but it was funny because she always thought she was tough. And I'm like, you're not that bad. You're really not. I'm still looking for the one sheet that I wanted to show everybody. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it unless I remember that name. But yeah, they show everything like in 9 panels of perfection, you know?
Yeah. Well, most how to draw books do that.
I've been looking over the pages for Melvin Zero. Yeah, this is a great book.
So who drew Melvin Zero again? That's
Rob Ewing.
Okay.
He drew it, he inked it, and he lettered it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nah. Swiss Army artist.
It's good to get all the disciplines, you know, for an artist because flexibility is like important. It's
Flexibility sells. We all know this.
yeah. Damn it, I can't find it. I'm sitting here scrolling through a million images of comic book pages. Not a one is the one I'm looking for. And it's a famous
really?
page. Yeah, it's famous. I know it is. I've seen it. Like so many places. I have it somewhere on my hard drive.
You have. Mm-hmm. You
But I can't remember the
seen
name,
it.
so searching it is insane, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I put in 9 panels, comic page examples. Guess what I got? Everything but.
Sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Isn't that the way you can never find what you're looking for?
Oh,
It's always
yeah,
the
and
way.
the second I get off the air, you know what's going to happen?
You're
It's gonna
find it.
pop up.
Yeah.
Yep.
We know
I'll be
this.
Son of a bitch, you've been there that whole time.
Yeah,
But that is
it's
life.
gonna.
They say
It's gonna be there. It's always gonna be there.
They say God's got a sense of humor.
Of course,
I hope he does. I hope he does.
God always has had a sense of humor.
He created the dodo bird. Come on.
He
I love the dodo bird.
A bird so stupid it supposedly made itself go extinct.
Well, let's put it this way: we know God has a sense of humor because look at the people He's created.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey
Hey,
guys,
who's that?
it's me. I had to go play with the kitties because it's late and I had to do playtime. So
Take cover. She's returned.
I had to get that in, and now I got to go get ready for bed. So I am going to say good night to all of you fine gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
And
All right. Well, I'm gonna hit the sack too, just because it is after 10.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys for coming by.
Yeah. This was a short get together, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was.
yeah.
Hey,
It was
no
interesting.
pre-show. There was absolutely no pre-show. There was one commercial.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you didn't play your new commercial for Cyclopian?
No, yeah, I'm coming up with another one for the last week of the promo, but yeah, it's coming.
Ah,
Oh,
All right, everybody. Don't forget, back the book. We love you all.
back,
out.
We'll
Good
see you
night,
soon.
back to my home.
Keep it real.